Hey One Tree Hill fans, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I am probably going to start watching the episode first and then listening to the podcast. I kind of liked how I felt a little more connected to the podcast last time. Kind of wasn't so lost on it because I always forget what's going on in the episode. So I'm going to watch this episode of season 3, Multitude of Casualties, episode 5. And then I will listen to the podcast when they release it and give you my thoughts on that. So let's get into it. It's so funny that Dan is the hype man. It's like, we know how crazy he is, but I don't think the town as a whole knows yet. Okay, so I kind of forgot how Rachel just kind of was plopped into the One Tree Hill world. Like on the last episode, she was just there kind of dressed as Pamela Anderson at the Halloween party. And now she's on the squad for the cheerleading, and it's just kind of funny how she's just there, you know. But I totally love what Lucas is, you know, saying to Nathan, like, why are you treating Haley like dirt? She's your wife. And I just realized you're just like Dan. You know, it's both untrue and yet very true. Oh my God. Okay, I love that, like, when Dan announces the basketball team and then here come Lucas and Nathan beating the hell out of each other. And Whitey, once again, damn your sperm, Danny. Hey, the announcer mouth is enjoying it. This is truly Midnight Madness. He loves it. Okay, so Haley confronts Nathan about what happened at the ball, but we're not saying. I just kind of wish she would have been like, you kissed me. I forget. We do find out that moment, right? And then here come Brooke and Peyton. Brooke's upset that it's the last tryouts for cheerleaders. Of course, Peyton's not. Oh, Brooke is so stubborn about the whole Lucas thing, but considering what we know, I do understand it. Rachel's cheerleader audition was more like a stripper audition, but hey, at least she can dance, right? Ah, the key word that Whitey said, team unity to Nathan. Irony! Now that I think about it, I almost feel like Brooke's like game with Lucas to get him to like date someone else to see if he really likes her is kind of almost, I feel like, what Nathan's doing with Haley by pushing her back towards Chris and saying, go do your music. Like, but just not with the same malicious intent almost. It is so weird to see Chris and Nathan kind of in a way working together. Oh my God, Dan's the man for Tree Hill Mayor. Of course, Karen is pissed. And I feel bad for Deb because she's like in this middle, like she has to stand by him, but then she's like, I can make things difficult for him. Let's do that. Oh my God. Deb's lingerie, drinking and smoking, looking hot as hell in the early morning while Dan's having his meeting to become mayor. Rachel is a conflicting character because she's worming her way in with the groups of the cheerleaders. And of course, you know, Lucas is honest with her on why he asked her out. And she's like, luckily, I'm into wrong. Let's do this. And then she kisses him in front of Brooke. And it's funny because it's like, you don't want to like Rachel, but you do like her, even though she's like this major competition for Brooke. But she's never really had that. And that does happen in life. So it's a good life lesson. Nathan's certainly taking his aggression out on Lucas with benching him even during practice. Okay, I totally forgot about Gigi wanting to be to the tryouts with Mouth. Such tumultuous back and forth between Ellie and Peyton, I swear. Oh, Brooke trying to get Haley to be a permanent cheerleader. It was adorable. Is this the first time we've ever heard the doorbell ring at Peyton's house? Shock. Oh my God. Dan using Deb's toothbrush on some pretty disgusting things. Oh, Rachel, totally taking it up a notch just like Brooke would do. Going into the store where she works. I need some lingerie. Ooh. I never really realized just how much she was kind of like Brooke, just like on that next evil level. So crazy that Nathan's like, you need to work with Chris. And, that way if you end up having feelings, I'll know this is your chance. I mean, it's so crazy, but at least he told her. At least he didn't, keep her in the dark. Oh my God, Dan, passing out buttons to be mayor. And then here comes Nathan. I see you've made it all about yourself. Don't be jealous. It's unbecoming and it makes you look like a tool. Pot kettle black there, Dan. I do always find it pretty unloyal of Brooke's cheerleader team to be so ready to listen to the new girl instead of Brooke. It's like, people can be so fickle. I feel like everything Whitey had to say about Dan at Midnight Madness on the introduction of retiring his jersey was very much through gritted teeth. That's why I love when he's like, I'm sure he's going to get a lot of votes for mayor, just not mine. Oh my God. I just love Whitey. I'll always say this because then when Dan's giving his little, I'm gonna work so hard for you as mayor. And Whitey's like, Lord, where is Lee Harvey Oswald when you need him? I do love it. Oh, Danny, you made one small error. You are running opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, the candidate I'm endorsing, Miss Karen Rowe. I love it. Rachel really exhibits that nice girl that weaponizes her nice and gets everybody on her side, but the truth is she's really a bitch. That's why I never really liked Rachel. Oh my God, I forgot that not only the basketball team is fighting each other and the cheerleaders are too. Pandemonium! Peyton kicking the mascot's ass. And then Gigi, Mouse's new, sidekick on the podcast is he's like, I don't suppose you have anything to add. Yeah, this kind of turns me on. Woo! We saw a very heated Whitey, and for very good reason. And I love that he made Nathan and Lucas co-captain. It's you're either going to make it work or tear it down, but you're going to do it together. That's right. And here comes Rachel all naked in Lucas's car. Ugh. Brooke is right, though. She wanted Lucas to freaking fight for her. And, he's like, how was I supposed to know that? Because if it was right, you would have already known it in your heart. Meaning that's why she said, you're just supposed to know. Because she's got a point. It's she was testing you, but she had she had good reasons to test him. So I get where she's coming from on that. And I am so glad she punched Rachel back because she deserved it. Just gonna say not crazy about Peyton's curly tendril look today. Dan being petty and mean-spirited just to overcompensate for his own deep, deep insecurities. I think it's funny that Ellie left her bracelet, her survivor bracelet, on the table of the hotel room that she vacated as Peyton happened to come in and just the door looked to be open. I was TV. So yes, Nathan was totally kind of playing at the same idea that Brooke was with, I want you to go to Chris and I want you to see if you have feelings for him. And I understand why Nathan's doing this, but, at least he told Haley up front versus Brooke kind of telling Lucas after the fact. But at the same time, I'm kind of I kind of wonder, I can't remember it. Is Nathan was Nathan wanting her to say no? But she did already say that. But I think he's on the level, he wants her to do her music and see if she has feelings. Because I think for him, that's the only way he's ever going to know for sure about her, because she already left. And, going back to what they said on another podcast about how that was a connection for him with his mom leaving and his trauma. These are all very real trauma responses. So it's so interesting to watch this show, for my third or fourth time in life and just really see it through a different lens. That's it on my thoughts for the show. Here are my thoughts on the podcast. Okay, so I just got done listening to the podcast, and I have to say that I'm excited about the contest. I can't wait for them to post the questions. I'm very curious to see what the questions are going to be. I do have to agree that I did not, when I originally watched the series, I did not agree or buy Deb's unraveling the way they did it either. But now that I'm older, I do really love to see her having all that kinds of fun with Dan. And I can see now the kind of slippery slope that she was on. Also, totally agree that I also don't feel like an adult some days, most days, even though adulting is pretty much feeling like it's trying to kill me. Does anybody else feel that way? Okay, I think this needs to be the new hashtag for Hillary. Boo hiss. I love when she does that. And I do have to admit that Chris Keller is definitely the guy that you love to hate and hate to love, because he like worms his way into like everything. It's so true. And you know, I also agree with them on the whole. It doesn't make sense that Nathan is like hating on Lucas to the extent that he is, because I even mentioned that before about how he was all about Lucas, like going after Dan, and then he's like, no, stop it. You lied to me. Bye. I still believe that Brooke had every right to test Lucas, although I will say by this episode, it does feel like she's carrying it out too much. Like she needs to kind of make a decision now. And the whole thing about Rachel's comment with the weight thing to Brooke, obviously not cool, but I did grow up with females that spoke that way, that acted that way. So I guess, you know, it's not so outside of the realm of reason for me, because there's just high school bitches. And I think Rachel really embodies that kind of high school bitchy. I think they might have been having a little nostalgia about Danielle herself, not so much the Rachel character, because I don't know. Rachel is that kind of person that's like really bitchy, but uses her nice as a weapon to like get people on her side, and she's kind of two-faced. So like, I still think Rachel's a bitch. And oh my god, so like I totally forgot that the girl playing Gigi is the woman that also plays Monica on Yellowstone. Now, I am one of the people that I'm not a huge fan of the Monica character, because there's a lot going on there, and it's just like she's not my favorite, but I do love the actress. And those are my thoughts on the podcast, and those are my thoughts on the show. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give me a like, put comments below, and I will see you next week.